Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and today I'm going to work on the pantry again. Now this next project is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Sometime before, around 1995 or before that, I don't remember if I got it as a birthday present or as a Christmas present, but my son gave me a pot rack. Now it's one of those cool ones that you hang from the ceiling. And when we lived in Massachusetts at the time, and we were able to put this up in the kitchen, and it made a huge difference for us in terms of storing pots that we wanted access to but didn't really have room for in the cabinets because it was a relatively small kitchen. Now when we built this kitchen here, we built a pretty humongous kitchen, but as always there's still more kitchen stuff than there is kitchen. So we've been debating how to handle this, and one of the things we talked about was putting this up again. And now that the shelving is up and the blinds are in, Roman shade rather, I want to put this in. And I debated several different locations. I want it to be accessible, but it can't be in the way. And we have our internet hub stuff up here, so it can't be like crashing into that. And it looks ugly if you put it over the sink. And over here, no, I still have some cabinetry work to do. So the answer is right here. So what I did was I got my stud finder and I located the studs on the ceiling here. None of the walls in this house are load bearing. We have trusses. So I knew that we have trusses going this way. And then there's obviously braces going this way. And fortunately there's one that comes right over the top of this, which is perfect. So I drilled a pilot hole with a little teeny drill just to double check to make sure there really was a stud there. And there is. So I used a little bitty guy because that's an easy hole to plug if you decide it's wrong. So I needed some hooks. Henry picked up a nice sturdy one the other day for me at the hardware store. He actually picked up a couple of ones that I decided on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this up there. Now, I don't know, I'm sure you've seen these before. I have all the hooks for it. You can hang pots like that from it. It works really well. So let me see if I can make that hole, get that up there, and make more progress. So I have a pilot hole stuck up here so that I knew I was in a stud, and I'm going to drill a slightly bigger hole. I want a hole that's definitely in the stud, and it's got to be smaller than this so that this will have wood to grab into, because obviously we're going to put some heavy pots and pans on this thing. We want it to stay up there. It would be a terrible sound if that thing crashed down. I was planning to get this done a lot earlier today, but when Henry went to leave to go to town, he's got to get all the way down to Prescott today. We discovered he had a flat tire, so I helped him change the tire. And the tire was stuck on really well, so fortunately I knew where the impact wrenches were, and we used the impact driver to, yeah, it was one of those days, but we used the impact driver to get the wheel off. And fortunately the spare tire was not flat, so he is safely on his way. Okay, so that is theoretically it. You need to make sure that something like this is really anchored well. That hook is rated for 60 pounds. And if I feel like we're getting too over the top, I have another one. And I will simply add 2, because 60 plus 60 is 120. So, and although I know I have more than 120 pounds of pots and pans, I don't plan to hang them all up there. And this is one of those projects that the longest thing that took time was actually standing up on a ladder with a studs finder, finding where the various cross bases and everything else were up there. And I didn't think you needed to watch me do that, because that's really not all that exciting. So, let's see. This had been hanging up in my studio to keep it safe, because I didn't want it to get messed up. I'm actually not 100% trusting of this one silly little link here. So what I may actually do is turn it sideways, because then I can hook it through 4 links instead. I have a lot of faith in metal. However, as somebody who works in it a lot, I also know what kind of limitations it has. And let's see, I think I will make it go all the way around one more time and put it sideways like that. And that should let me hook everything together here. Always, there we go. There we go. Now it's actually supporting itself on all 4 of these chains instead of just this silly little link at the top. Much better, much better. Okay. Woohoo! I could even turn it around and make it look prettier. Of course, I gotta do that while I'm up here. This is where it was welded closed, so not the prettiest part of it. So we'll switch it while we're up here, otherwise I'll get down there and I'll look at it and I'll say, darn, I should have switched that. Yeah, because I know how my head works. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, I already warned Henry about this. He doesn't know I'm going to do it today. I was trying to do that as some odd project while he was running around doing other things. And now if we need a pot, we should be able to grab it just by using this guy. And I use this guy all the time for getting to upper shelves around here, so that's not a shocking thing. This is rated to 350 pounds, I think, because I've had ladders. I've fallen off ladders before. I don't recommend that, by the way. So these is kind of cool because it's got a grid of heavy wires in here, which means I could hook it in whatever direction I want, and I could just leave the extra ones up here until I need them. You can actually use them on this edge too if you want to. I'm going to set those up there for now. But there's a couple of pots and pans I really want to get up here. It's going to make a big difference in my kitchen. And there's also a couple up in that corner there, which is going to make a big difference in the storage over there. So I'm not going to do all of it today, but I want to get started at least. This just gets a hook of its own. First hang it up there, it's going to be a little cockeyed because all the weight's on one side. But then, as I add other pots and pans, it'll even out. And it's a pot rack, it doesn't have to be perfect. So yeah, very cool. Bong bong, it's like a giant, there we go, wind chime. Oh man, that's gonna make a giant difference though. You know, and if I was really super concerned about it hanging perfectly straight, I would put probably 4 hooks on it. I don't know, I still may switch it to 2 hooks. We'll see. I'll have a conversation with Henry about that. But at least for now, it's good enough. Got space up there, got a bunch of space in the kitchen cabinet. Golden. As you can see, that really wasn't that hard. The hardest thing was actually finding the beams in the ceiling so that I knew that I was actually drilling into wood, because it has to go into wood. Could I do it without putting it into wood? Yes, I could. I have the special anchors that you use for such things, and the top rated anchor here, 1/2 inch drywall, and I think this is actually 3/4 inch. This is rated 61 pounds. Okay, so if I put 2 of those up there, there's no way I'm hanging 122 pounds of stuff up there. Although you'd be surprised how fast it can add up. Those, especially the cast iron is heavy. But this means I could do it just straight in drywall if we decide we want to move this or something like that. Totally possible. But for now, this solves a major problem. I hope this inspires you. There's things like this sometimes that will make all the difference in the world. As I said, I've had this rack since about 1995. I've been able to use it in 2 houses, I think, before this one. But this is going to make a big difference in terms of storage. Think about how you can change storage in your house that wouldn't cost a fortune, and it would let you have more efficient storage. So be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe, because we'll have lots more ideas. Definitely going to be doing lots more. I'm going to get a drink of water, and then I have homework to do. So I have to go work down in the studio. So until next time, bye.